Hello, this is Christy with MyScrapBookEvolution.com, and today I wanted to share with you a look behind the blog. We'll be peeking inside my 2017 blog planner. Let's get started. So before we start with this year's planner, let's take a look at last year's and actually part of 2015's planner as well. I had this Erin Condren planner, and I absolutely love this planner. It's pretty. I love that I could add my own little custom items to the side of the binder. I started decorating the covers. I made my own little bookmarks for it. What I did not love was that it was kind of limiting for me. With the binder here, it made it harder for me to add my own custom pages, or I found that I was spending a lot of time just adding in the sections that I needed for blog planning. And I really don't have a lot of time to do that. I'd rather be creating art journal or scrapbook pages or craft projects. Decorating a planner sounds nice for me in theory, and I love the way that some of these beautiful planners look, but it is very time consuming. So this year I decided to try to do a little something different. I initially ordered in the Epic Blog Planner. It's an editorial planner, and that as a blogger is actually the biggest challenge for me. I struggled in this past year and a half with my editorial calendar and being consistent. Prior to last year, prior to about a year and a half ago, before I moved, I just would get inspired, write a blog post, and post it up. And I was posting frequently, and my blog was growing. And that was great. But over the past year, I'm finding that I have a lot of time in which I need to be homeschooling my son. I'm finding that I'm doing more collaborations both with friends and with design teams. And I need to have an idea of when things are posting and where they're posting so that I'm consistent. Like I have a goal this year, and I've had in the past to try to do one color palette and one sketch per month. And that's not always happening because I get caught up in all of these other projects. So I'm trying to get more organized. It's a constant struggle as a blogger to be more organized. And I thought that this editorial planner would work well for me. And if you're noticing that it's kind of chewed up, that's because I ended up taking the entire planner apart. The other thing that I'm finding does not work for me in planners is that if they're bound, they limit what I can do and what I can put in them. I can add notes and little clip-on things, but I found that they were constantly falling out, getting lost, or I wasn't updating them, so I just needed consistent pages throughout. What I decided to do was to create my own planner. So I have this planner. It's just a binder. I've decorated it a little bit. I have slipped in a picture that I created for Lifebook 2016. And I kind of like the idea that I can change the cover in and out as often as I want to. And I also have this notebook right here. The notebook's just a cat notebook that I found from a store here in Abu Dhabi called Typo. And I like to have the notebook so I can just write things down. I can look at my planner and write things down. And if I need to, I'll transfer this into the planner. What you're seeing on the notebook, just kind of a side note, I have notes for 2017. I always have an investment wish list for my blog. For 2017, that's going to include things like photography backdrops, photography props, a better tripod. I still don't have a sewing machine. I've lived here about a year and I really want to get one. I'm noticing that my camera is starting to go. I'm getting a lot of grain in it, so I've added a new camera to that list. There's some shelving and things like that that I want for my creative space. So anytime I have an idea for that, I write it down and then I try to do some research on approximate costs. And that way I can track my costs and budget for things that I want to add for my website. And that can include things like software as well. So that's a good idea to add that to your planner. I also just wrote out some goals for this year for the posts that I want to plan. And I wanted to include in my notebook classes that I'm taking. So there's a couple sections that are missing, and you have to understand that this is definitely a work in progress. I've been looking around for a while, for several months, and I finally settled on that Epic Blog Planner, but I had to order it in from the US, and I just got it about a week before Christmas. So I'm just trying to work on this and get it done. So a couple of the things that I'm doing this year, I'm part of the Awesome Ladies Project, and I've got my workbook here, and I'm going to add a section. I need to get a divider for it. I'm going to add a section about project ideas for this project to kind of keep my work in progress going. For my dividers, I'm trying to be more sustainable and I like to be creative. So I want to design my own dividers. And I've just gotten chipboard. This is from a cereal box. And I've just cut it down and I'm going to decorate it. What I think I'm going to do, part of the overwhelm I think with planners is the need to have the entire planner decorated and done and ready to go. It's just not realistic for me. So for part of my classes and some of the mixed media prompts that I'm doing online this year, I'm going to put those prompts to work onto these dividers. And I'll decorate the dividers, and then by hopefully 2017, they'll be done and ready to go, and I can just concentrate on each different month. So I've written out a few blog goals, things like that. One thing I did do that is working well is to color code the different projects that I work on, and I did that in 2015 and 2016. I'm using these Scripto fine liner pins. I'm finding that they don't have a ton of bleed through, which is nice for markers. I like the way that they write. I wish I had more colors, and I just noticed that they have huge boxes of them at the store, so I might pick up some more of those. And I also love my gel pens for writing. But color coding the different projects I work on works very well for me, because then when I put it into the month calendar format, I can just easily glance through and see, okay, I have something due here, or I have a post that needs to go live here, that sort of thing. To that end, I printed a year overview. And the only day that I know for sure right now is some of the post dates for one particular project. So I've gone ahead and just underlined those post dates. And as I get more concrete dates in, I'll just underline them with the colors, and I can glance at this a year at a glance and sort of have an idea. Once I have all those more concrete from the different projects I'm working with, then I'll be able to add in my own personal blog post projects like the color palettes and the sketches. So I did buy a few dividers, because now we're going into monthly goal planning. I bought these at our local office supply store, and they didn't have them by month, so I just got them plain. They're plastic. I think I can find a way to decorate them, maybe with permanent marker, and kind of make them my own. So the way that the Epic Blog Planner works is that it starts off with a section, and this is another part of an overview of the year. So you write in your month. You can see I've started kind of decorating it. I've got each month by color, and then you write in your theme ideas, and then you write in content ideas and planning for that month. And it doesn't have to stay concrete, it can be flexible. But I'll finish fleshing this out at least, I think, up through June in the next couple of months. And I've started just stamping. Once I start getting ideas for what I want, I just started stamping, and then I doodled. So like January's winter, goals, organization. So I stamped a few snowflakes and a coffee cup, and then February I started diagramming and doodling a few hearts for Valentine's Day and for the color pink. And I'll finish that off. So we kind of see that we have the month starting here, and when I know that I have a space, I'm going to go ahead and stamp or decorate in that spot. So I knew like the first 2 days of January of this year I wasn't doing anything, so I added stamps to that. I'm using Colorbox ink in these, and it sort of goes through a little bit, but it's not too bad. I am writing in anything with pen that I know has a concrete due date. Anything in pencil can be moved around if necessary. Now these do come blank. We flip over here. These also come with a monthly blog stats, so you can look at your last month, your this month, your change. If you're a blogger who has sponsored posts or are making money in some way, you can add blog income and blog expenses if you like. But each month comes blank, and the idea behind the Epic Blog Planner is that you could start with any month that you wanted to. Now, being that it's blank, it gives me a little bit of leeway. January, I added a little bit of washi tape, and then I started with the title and stickers. I did go ahead and use these stamps. They're by Cocoa Daisy. They're just calendar number stamps that came in one of my pocket page kits from them. They're their day in the life kits. And I'll just stamp in all of the dates in different colors. I'll probably coordinate with washi tape or die cuts or other items that I want to decorate my calendar page with. Another thing that the Epic Blog Planner does come with, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use this feature, this is a post planner. So if you're doing a post and you have the approximate date, you can put that here. You can put a title, idea, or a topic, and then you can list any pictures you need to take and any supplies you'll need to complete the post. I may use it, I may not, I'm not sure yet. The Epic Blog Planner also has this little section where you set goals for the month. You rewrite the month, your theme, the number of blog posts you want to do, things you want to do to build community or encourage your blog growth, and your email strategy as well. Now, this section includes maintenance tasks. I have a section of a pre-made page you'll see in a minute where I also have a maintenance task. So I may get rid of my personal section since this is already part of this checklist. They also have more notes, your email list content for that month, and if you have any collaborations or projects that you're working on. One of the biggest issues that I have is that these note sections are not always big enough for me, so I included a few extra blank lines in each month that I can use. And I made my own checklists. These are just kind of like bullet point lists. And here's the section I was talking about for the website and blog. These are like maintenance tasks behind the scenes. I may end up omitting this later in the year, given that the blog planner came with one. I don't need two. I've got an affiliate section and a section for collaborations, my design team work, and I did include a small section for home and homeschool. Essentially, I was finding that keeping home and homeschool checklists on a separate planner was causing me issues because I was missing key points, like if I had a doctor's visit that I needed to go to, and I didn't take that into account with trying to work on my blog during specific times of the week. I was having kind of a conflict. So I included the home and the homeschool section. These are some things with our homeschool group, so I can write in field trips and things like that and know when I'm not going to be in my creative space creating. So I've just got all 12 months like that, and I'll need to fill them out, decorate those up. When you get towards the end, it does do a year in review type of thing. So you come through all the way to the end, and then you get these checklists for blog themes and series ideas. Now there's a few sections here I'm not going to show you because it would give away some of the stuff I'm working on. But essentially these sections right here are for some of my collaborations. And I'm going to have a separate section for each collaboration with project due dates, with project ideas, who I'm working with, contact emails, things like that. So this leads to the blog post section. And I created my own sheet for post planning. I added little sections here, and I left room in the margins so I can write more notes, because again, writing notes seems to be important to me. I always, no matter how big I made this, I could make this thing the whole size of the page for the post planner, and I would need more space. So essentially what the post planner does is it has a title. You write your key ideas and main points. You can list out some keywords you might want to do, so you can do a little keyword research if you're concerned about SEO. It has post-promotion planning ideas across different social media. It has if there's any affiliates or sponsors. I'm not really doing any sponsors right now. I haven't really ever done a whole lot of sponsorship in the past, but I just kind of made that in case sometime in the future I move back to the US and I am going to be working with sponsors. I just kind of made the sheet that way. I put if there's going to be a video to go with the post, yes or no. Do I plan to have that? Are there any other posts of mine that I plan to link to? I can link back to my own post, or I can link to some of my friends' posts. I also put a small section for future post options, whether or not I want to add a color palette or a sketch, because some of like the tags, the art journal pages, or even the scrapbook pages, I might be able to create a sketch from what I did. I might be able to create a color palette or a mood board based on the project. So I have a whole section like that, and I did include these kind of longer lists that came with the blog planner. And they have a couple of other pages, like this is the year in the review page that I was looking for, your blog accomplishments, things like that. If you have blog login passwords, you can write those out here. Obviously, I didn't fill that out before showing you because some of that's private. And then I just have my extra pages stored here in the back. One other tool I use in conjunction with this is a daily notepad. So I just write out any of my ideas, or I write out any pertinent to-do items that I have due for that day or within the next 2 or 3 days, because sometimes the overview is too much and I just need to focus on just a couple of different topics. Essentially, that's my blog planning in a nutshell. If you have any questions, let me know. And be sure to stop by myscrapbookevolution.com. I am part of a blog hop with other bloggers who are sharing behind the scenes look at the way they're blogging based on the theme New Beginnings.